Hey guys, welcome back. So I've had a little side project that I've been working on the last couple of months, and I'm at a point with it now where I'm ready to share it. I guess the title probably gives it away a little bit. So any of you that have done any sort of engine work in your lives will know that you're basically, for 50% of the time, you're a bloody glorified cleaner. I know when I was an apprentice back in the day, I literally lived at the parts washer for years, just washing parts down. So anything you can do to sort of speed up and make the parts cleaning process easier it's worth its weight in gold, literally. So this beastie here that I've been working on, now I must say I've not reinvented. I haven't reinvented the wheel at all. I've shamelessly, fucking hell, I can't speak. I've shamelessly stolen everybody's ideas online that I can possibly find. If you search vapor blasting cabinet, DIY vapor blasting cabinet, there's a few prominent people. How to motorcycle repair guy, I think his name's Matt, is it? He's done a massive series on it, and I know he was one of the first guys, I think, to sort of do the whole DIY thing, and there was a guy in New Zealand. Anyway, so I've stolen all their ideas, and then I've put my spin on it, and I've added to it. I wasn't trying to do it as cheaply as possible. I wouldn't say price was not important, but I wasn't skimping on any of the stuff. You know, all the fittings for the pump is solid stainless steel, and all the fittings are stainless. It's proper skookum stuff. It wasn't about doing it as cheaply as possible, because this is going to get worked hard. So the best way for me to demo it is just to show you it working, I guess. So I've got a cylinder head here off a TDM TRX 850, TDM 850. It's literally just come off the engine. It's an engine build I'm doing for somebody. It's kind of standard manky cylinder head fare, really. So I'm going to put it in the cabinet, and when it comes out of the cabinet, it is going to look like brand new. So the beauty is, you can do all the processes. So you can do the degrease and the hot wash. You can do a cold rinse all the detergent off, and then you can airline it off if you want, and you can go straight into vapor blasting without ever opening the cabinet door. So you can literally put a manky part in that needs to be degreased, and it can come out airlined off, dry, ready to be refitted almost. Right, let me show you the process. Right, so turn on main switch, turn on me lights. I've got I've got window wash and I've got windscreen wiper, all the same sort of gadgets that everybody uses. You know the deal. There's a 12-volt power supply in there doing various things. I don't want to get in a rabbit hole. Regulator up here. I put my regulator up here because I really wanted to be able to see pressures as I was working. Anyway, don't go down a rabbit hole, Jim. So main power on. So I've got extraction, which goes out through the wall. I'll show you a clip of that, but that vents straight outside. And then there's 3 tanks in this. There's a cold water rinse tank, which is fed from mains water. There's a hot wash tank, and then there's the slurry tank with a slurry pump in. Not going to get into the design at this point, but I will do another video about how this went together, and and show all the little bits of video I took as I was building it. There's an extractor, like I said, going to the outside, through the outside back wall of the workshop, so you don't get any smell or any steam or anything like that. And then that's the inlet pipe there for it. Yeah, let's just crack on. So lights on. That's just because I'm sad, maybe is the word. I've got it all lit up nice with red LEDs. Why not? So down here, this tray here is on runners, and this slides out, so you can, like, for servicing and getting at stuff. There's another water tank down the back, which you can't see, the cold water tank. This is the slurry tank. This is the hot tank. This is a filter for the hot recirculation. There's a recirc pump back there for the hot wash. Yeah, let's not get foot pedal, standard stuff. This is the hot tank temperature at the moment. So where are we? 80 85 degrees is about where I seem to be using it at. It's not boiling, but it's almost, so it almost, the detergent, it almost comes out like steam when you're doing the high pressure. I'll show you in a minute anyway. What's that in Fahrenheit for you Americans? 180 something Fahrenheit, so it's hot, really hot. So good gloves are required. Right, so part in, and we'll get cleaning. So she's toasty coming out of there. So this is just sort of normal, obviously this is just normal parts washer mode. I've got a stainless steel fitting that I've just made, but I haven't fitted it yet. These brushes, you know, you can get a pass through, so the detergent's coming out of the brush, which is much easier. So I've got a stainless steel fitting that I put in this gun, and I can just lie the gun down there, and then I've got a brush with a pipe, if that makes sense, to, you know, do normal degreasing. Let's turn the wiper on actually. No, that's the wash wiper. Yeah, so normal hot degreasing mode basically. You get the idea. I won't bore you with hours of me degreasing. And then the party trick for this degreasing bit is, because the hot degreaser is coming up through this gun, you can introduce compressed air. And you can blast 85 degree degreaser at stuff, and it degreases like an absolute champ. Let's just let the steam die down a bit. It's not coming out that well on camera. I can actually see with my own eyes better than you guys can see. Yeah, so you get the idea. So let me degrease this, and then we'll move on to, then I'll show you the cold rinse, and we'll move on to vapor blasting. So this thing, I mean, having hot degreaser at pressure, it degreases like an absolute champ. So there's virtually no scrubbing. It's just epic. The amount of time it saves. Any of you that have sat at a, you know, we've all had them. I've had one in my workshop for years. A cold recirculating parts washer. They're normally in there. The only thing they've got going for them is they're normally solvent based, not aqueous based. This is clearly an aqueous based degreaser. Yeah, we wouldn't be using solvent at this temperature. Imagine the bang it would make. Yeah, it's just, as a degreaser, it's brilliant. So then you get it as clean as you can, degreasing it, and then the next step is, so we turn off the hot wash like that, and then there's a bit of configuration to be done. It's all done at the moment. It's all done with ball valves to change stuff over. The ultimate plan, and this is going to be a work in progress for a while. I've got out the back there where it goes through the garage wall, just into the overflow from the, what am I trying to say? Get to the point, Jim. The overflow from the cold rinse and the windscreen washer. At the moment it's just draining into a tub out the back, and I'm dealing with that. Eventually that's going to go into a weir tank that I've designed, and I've got all the pieces cut out in stainless. They all need welding together and making, but there's going to be a 4-compartment weir tank for the slurry and the hot wash, and then it'll get recirculated back into the same tank basically. The ultimate idea is to have all the, rather than changing everything over manually, so there's lots of different valves you've got to move, and there's a valve up the top here, this thing for changing rinse over and stuff. Eventually the idea is to have all these valves changed electronically, so have what do they call it, a bloody PLC, bloody hell, can't think. So a programmable logic controller moving up these valves, but you can get an electrical version, and then just a little touch screen, so you literally, the idea is to be able to just touch the mode you want and everything configures itself, so there's no fanning around with valves and stuff. Anyway, so once you've done your degrease, you've got to do a cold rinse. So let's do that. And what that will do is just using Venturi effect and compressed air, it will draw cold water up from the cold tank, and we can wash the cabinet down and blast the part with cold water and get all the remaining degreaser off it. So now it's just cold rinse, you get the idea. Rinse the part off. You also rinse the inside of the cabinet out, get all the detergent out of it. And now for the party trick. So slurry, turn on the slurry pump, and we're off to the races. You get the idea. You've seen people vapor blast before, I'm sure. Just wait for that compressor to shut up. Yeah, so literally a couple of minutes and job's a good one. Very, very fine glass bead. It leaves a really nice gasket surface. It's really gentle, so on the valve seats and stuff, just cleans them up and cleans the carbon off and doesn't really do anything to them at all. It's having valve seat work done anyway, but yeah, you get the idea. Lovely job. Right, I think that'll pretty much do it for the vaporage. So what I'm going to do now is I'll swap back to cold rinse and give it a good wash off. So all it is one pull of the lever, turn the pump off, the slurry pump, and we're straight into washing. And wash all the windscreen are clean. So that pretty much does it for the rinse. So my process, obviously, hang on a minute, fighting, let's turn this windscreen wiper off. So my process for, obviously you cannot absolutely under any circumstances have any glass bead anywhere near an engine, so I'll show you what I do to get rid of it. So what I'll do with all my parts is just have a quick airline of all the holes I can get at, and then I'll show you what I do next. So she's all airlined off. I know I said earlier on, and it was slightly tongue-in-cheek, that take it out of the cabinet and it's ready to go. You cannot have any glass bead anywhere, and obviously there's oil galleries and stuff, so I have another sort of process, or a couple of processes and it's probably a little bit OCD, but that's kind of how I roll. So yeah, she's all vapor blasted off, she's had a cold rinse and an airline down. Yeah, job's a good one. I'll show you my other processes for getting rid of all the glass bead, and yeah, and then it will be ready to be not refitted because it's got to have a little bit of valve seat work. But yeah, that's that. So when I was doing my research online, sort of gathering my thoughts about building one of these cabinets, everybody, almost without exception, has got all these theories about how to seal the doors and having little gutters and collecting it and feeding it back in, and I don't understand why everybody just fights with trying to seal the door up. Big fat rubber curtain. So I've got two pieces of angle iron sandwiched together here. This piece of rubber is cut so it fits absolutely perfectly in the gap, and yeah, you don't get any shmoo The door isn't wet when you open it, so it's not dripping everywhere. It seemed like the perfect, simple solution to me. But anyway, let's get this out of here, and I'll show you my process for. We've got nice LED lights in there, look, one each side. I'll show you my process for getting rid of all the glass bead. So an old boy I know taught me this trick, and it might seem a bit crazy, but you can get a part. This is something you do when you're sandblasting stuff. So you can get a part and airline it to within an inch of its life, and you think there's no way there's any blasting grit left on there. So I've got a tub here, warm water, and you use the warm water and compressed air, and you get the idea. And what seems to happen is, even when you think you've got a part completely clean, you do this, and then you take the part out and let it settle, and there's always blasting grit or glass in the bottom of the tub. I don't really understand the process or why it manages to remove extra stuff, but it always does, even when you think the part's clean. So I do this, and then for extra analness, I put it in just because I can. I put it in my powder coating oven, got 150°C for half an hour, bake it dry, and then airline it again. And then I'm pretty, I'm comfortable then that there's nothing left on it. Anyway, that's that. I'll do this now, I'll dry it off with the airline, put it in the oven, and I'll see you on the other side. So, small side note, and I can't bloody help myself turning this into a how-to, but Vapour blasters are absolutely epic at cleaning up valves. There's something about this process that is really good at removing carbon. Yeah, so literally 60 seconds and you're golden. I'm fairly new to this process. No, that's not strictly true. I was going to say I'm new to this process. I'm not new to vapour blasting. I've been getting stuff vapour blasted for years and years, but I've been outsourcing it. So I've never had a cabinet, that's at hand. So putting things like this in and just experimenting, it's a blooming revelation. That baked on, welded on carbon that is just a nightmare to get off. 60 seconds and it's gone. Of course, the valves are hard. The glass bead in water does nothing to damage the valve. It just gets it as clean as it can possibly be. So that's it, guys. So had a bit of a cook in the oven, another airline off, and then immediately it had a bath in GT85 because, well, you can see, I don't know if you can see there, see there's a little bit of flash rust coming on the exhaust studs. So if you're not careful, anything that can rust will rust quite quickly. So yeah, and full disclosure, it's had a little bit of a some fine Scotch-Brite just on the gasket surface. The vapour blasting process is so gentle that it doesn't remove any material. So anyway, so literally 30 seconds with some Scotch-Brite on the gasket surface has just brought that up. Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, it looks like a brand new cylinder head. Super happy. And that was I don't know whether you remember how manky the exhaust side was. That's come up pretty good. Well, it's almost perfect. You could spend another 5 minutes possibly just going completely over the top, but yeah, so that's it, guys. That's the end of this, I think. Question that you're all thinking, I'm sure, is, so how much it cost, Jim? Well, I think I'm the wrong side of 1,500 quid at this point. I think I went down a few dead ends and took a few wrong turns along the way, so there's some stuff that I didn't need to buy that I bought. So I think you could, if you had all the right information, I think you could do it for 1,500 quid. I will at some point put together my montage of build photographs and bits of video I took and probably put that out there. I've also got a spreadsheet with all the part numbers and URLs and stuff of all the parts I used to build it, so that might be useful to you guys. I need to weed out some of the stuff that I ended up not using and turn that into a useful document, but I'll probably make that available to my patrons if you're interested in building your own, because I did a lot of research online to try and find a sort of multi-purpose cabinet that would do hot washing and vapor blasting and degreasing and stuff all in one. Couldn't find anything, so I think it's a bit of a unique thing. Well happy with it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm waffling. Hope you found it interesting and there was maybe some useful information in there for you. Take it easy. See you on the next one.